Hello everyone. I'm going to let people come on in and join the video before I get started here. We're going to be doing the Great Bead Extravaganza project today. And if you're joining me, please say hello. I'd love to hear from you. I love to hear where you guys are from. Where are you joining me from today? Are you guys enjoying some fall weather today? I hope so. So I'm just going to wait a minute before I get started. Just turned time right now, so we'll let people shuffle in. And as soon as I see some comments and know people are here, we will get started. All right, Linda Cooper, you're the first person to comment. Hello, watching from Denver, North Carolina. I didn't know there was a Denver, North Carolina. And Cindy, and we have Diana, Rosalinda, hello, Janet and Kate Gross. I'm seeing some familiar names and some new names. Super excited about that. Hi everyone. Susan, Susan, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her last name, but I see you there and I'm glad you're joining me. Hello, hello. If you're new here, I would definitely love to hear from you. Welcome, welcome. All right, I think we're ready to get started here. Oh, yay. Hi, guys. So happy to see you all here today. Hello, hello. Oh, my hair's all windblown. It's very windy here today. All the leaves fell off this weekend, so fall fell. Nice to have you guys here. I'm Heather Powers from Humblebeads, and that's my website, and I'm a bead maker, jewelry designer, author, illustrator, instructor, all-around creative muse, and I'm here to inspire you guys today. And I'm actually taking a oh, Nancy, it's snowing in Ann Arbor. Oh my gosh, send it over here. We had some little flakes, but nothing big. My friend Erin woke up to like 4 inches of snow. Well, she got a picture because she's over here where it's not snowing. We are in the middle of doing my fall retreat. I'm super, just been so relaxing, wonderful. So happy. If you ever get a chance to get together with beady people, I highly recommend it. Your beady friends will be your best friends for life, and it's just really fun to create with people, whether you're doing a specific project like this or just getting together to make stuff. I highly, highly recommend getting together with beady friends as often as you can. And we're doing masks and social distancing and being safe, so as you need to. Oh no, some people, I kind of like snow in November. I like snow up until Christmas, and then I'm done. So if you're joining, and I'm sure you know the project, this is the project we're going to be doing, the Autumn Rhapsody necklace, and there are a few kits available still at humblebeads.com. If you want to grab one, you can. If your kit hasn't arrived yet, please know that this project will be available forever as long as Facebook is around here on my page, and we'll also post it on my website too. Yes, join a local bead society or find out if your local bead store has classes, and just get together with beady people. They are the best. All right, I got to give a shout out to all of my retreat people. Hi guys, so glad you're watching. Can't wait to be back there with you guys. Hi Roseanne, I see you here. So I'm just gonna jump in. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys got your order. And also, if you guys get stuck on I'll show my face here. If you guys get stuck on a part of the project, I won't have time to answer questions while we're doing the video, so you can type in your question, and if somebody else knows the answer, maybe they can leave a comment and answer your question. But I will go back and read the comments after the video and answer any questions that I can. Oh, live chats for getting together with beady people. That's a great way to do it too. Also, if you need the supply list, you can go to humblebeads.com, and on the blog tab, it's the first entry there, and there's a supply list over there. All right, so let's jump in and get started here. I have all my supplies gathered, and we're going to start this necklace working from the bottom on up. So we're going to start with all the little dangles and tassels, all the little goodies on the bottom there, and then we'll be doing the beading part after that. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is the little tassel. And you're going to need sari silk, and this is hand-dyed sari silk. There's vendors on Etsy that sell it. My favorite vendor, I haven't seen her. She's been taking a break, so just go on Etsy and look for sari silk, and you'll be able to find some. And I have a 9mm jump ring here. And I'm going to close up this jump ring really tightly, quickly. Hello, Erin. Erin, the picture that I was talking about is actually right behind me on the videos. So when I show my face again, look behind me, and you can see your painting. Okay, so I'm closing that jump ring all the way up, and I'm going to take my sari silk, and I'm going to squish it a little. I folded it over in half. Oh, and the other thing, if there's any little flyaways on your sari silk, just go through and pull them off really quick. Okay, so I'm going to take my sari silk, fold it over, and stick it through my jump ring. And then I'm going to open up that loop, pull the two ends through the loop, and I'm holding onto the jump ring as I do that. And then you're going to hold onto the jump ring and pull tightly, and we're making a lark's head knot with the sari silk, and that's how we're going to make this little tassel. So it's just a lark's head knot on the jump ring with the sari silk, and then I would give it a little haircut on the bottom to straighten it up, but all my scissors are at the retreat center, so that didn't work. All right, thank you guys for saying hello. I see all your comments, and I really appreciate you guys saying hello. Hi, John McKay. Okay, so I have my sari silk tassel done, and the next part, oh, and I'm going to add my little jump ring here. And 1 second. I didn't grab enough of them. Okay. I'm going to need a little 8mm jump ring, excuse me, 6mm jump ring, and this is a little roped one. I really love the texture of the roped jump rings. Okay, opening this up, sticking it on, then we're going to close it up, and then I'm going to add the same kind of jump ring onto the top of my oak leaf here, and this is an oak leaf from Vintage. It's copper, and we carry these on the website at humblebeads.com. And one of my favorite charms, pendants for this time of year. I have such a hard time closing the jump rings because it's not in my face. I'm quite a few inches away from my face when I do the videos. Okay, and now we're going to make the little dangle with the chain and my little flowers. So these are little bell flowers, and I've done most of them so that they were ready to go. And so you're going to take a 1-inch head pin, stick it on, and you can use your round nose pliers and make a simple loop I really love using the one-step looper, and you can get these from Vintage or Beadsmith, and you just stick your head pin in there, squeeze it, and then it makes a perfect little loop for you. So it's kind of like magic, and I love them. And now I'm going to take the lightest one, and I'm going to stick this on the bottom of my chain. Alright, and now I'm going to, let me make sure I have this right here. Yeah, on each link, on every other link, that's what I'm doing. On every other link, I am going to add one of the flowers. So I'm just going to open up my loop here, stick it on. Oh, I guess it is everyone. Yeah, on every link is what we're going to do. I'm going to close that up. And so I'm doing kind of an ombre effect here, going from lightest to darkest. Some of the kits I went from dark to light, so it just depended on what I liked in the beads, what spoke to me when I was putting it together. Let's see, do I want to do the next one? I think I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to skip one and put it on the next little link. And now I'm going to, yeah, okay. Alright, just trying to figure out how I want to do this. Or how I did it, that's the big question. Okay, just closing up these little jump rings, adding them on, and I'm going to do the last two. And I kind of hold it up every few ones and make sure it looks right. You know, you got to work with gravity here since it's going to be hanging on a necklace. And I'm going to do the last one on the top link. And close that up. Okay, so there's my little dangle. So I have my three components for the bottom are my sari silk tassel, the leaf, and then all the little flowers added onto the chain. All right, now we are ready to, I'm going to take some 20 gauge parawire, and that's my favorite stuff to work with. So here you go, it's 20 gauge parawire, and this is in the brass finish that Vintage does that matches all their findings. But as you can see, I love to mix metals, so I'm using brass finishes and copper finishes for this piece. It's my thing. I like it. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a wrapped loop on the bottom of here, about an inch and a half from the bottom. You're going to roll the wire around your pliers to make a loop. And I'm going to grab it with my chain nose pliers and use my fingers and wrap around 2 times tightly, and then I'm going to wrap around 2 times on top of the first 2 wraps to make a messy wrap. And I'm going to pinch this closed so that it doesn't scratch anything. And then I also like to take my pliers and just condense that wrap so it's nice and tight. And now I'm going to stick on my little house, and this is a little polymer clay house that I make. Oh, actually, this is a good tip. Since, you know, these are not, you don't have to be extremely careful, but I like to do the necklace upside down so that I don't cause any stress on the bottom of that. So, I mean the top. So I have a little 6mm bead cap I'm going to put on, and then I have a little 2mm spacer, a little faceted one. You could also do like a little seed bead. And now I'm going to put this on, and the reason I am going from the top and then doing the loop on the bottom is it just doesn't put as much pressure on the top here when you're doing your loop, so I like to do it from the top going down. And I want both of the loops to be facing the same way, so I'm going to be making a wrap loop here on the bottom. Gotta pull that wire over the house to get that loop made. And I'm going to grab the loop, wrap it around tightly twice, and then 2 times loosely on top. And then make sure I trim it towards the back. You don't want that little, okay, where did I put my cutters? Here they are. You don't want the end of the wire to be in the front because it has like a little tiny copper piece. I will be teaching polymer clay classes again in January, Dawn. So I'll be doing an online retreat in January. If you want to learn how to make polymer clay beads. Okay, so I have my 2 loops, I have my dangles, and now I'm going to take this large 17mm rope jump ring and stick it on the house. Then I'm going to do the tassel, the leaf, and then I'm going to put it on the top link on the chain here. So the top link is going through, and then I'm going to close this up, and I just want that seam to kind of disappear, and that's the bottom half of my necklace. Oh, thank you about the house. I love the houses. They're my favorite, one of my favorite beads to make are houses, and I make them in all different styles and colors and shapes. Or not shapes, but different styles and colors. Okay, now on the necklace you saw that there's a round connector, but in your kit there is a long branch connector. So what we're going to do, this is a plated metal. It's pewter, it's really soft, and I'm just taking it in my hands and gently pulling the ends together to form a round link. And so I'm going to, you want to be careful not to do it quickly because you can misshape in it. And so now I'm going to take my pliers, just gently grab on and make a little bit of a rounder shape on the top. I'm going to do the same on this side. And you definitely want to go in the direction that the piece is curved towards, so you're curving towards the in the direction that this piece was curved. And if something's not quite looking right, you got a little funky circle, you can just unbend it gently and retry it. Okay, and now I want these two to cross over so that they're one. And now I've made a circle branch connector out of the long branch bead. And these are copper plated on pewter, and that's why it works so well. They're really soft, malleable metal. Okay. And now I'm going to take, oh, darn it. Hope you weren't following along with that. If you need to, what I did is I put the loop through here first, so I'm going to cut this apart and redo that. Oh my gosh, it would not be a Humblebeads video if there wasn't a mistake in it. That's okay. If for some reason you're like working right along with me and you did that little mistake right now, don't worry, just find a little jump ring and put a jump ring through there and connect it to your loop. Easy peasy solution. No sweat. Just get a little jump ring, a brass or a copper one, and attach it through your little guys. So I'm going to start this again. Okay, now I'm going to make this round, bend it so that it's straight above my wire, and what we're going to do is open this, slide on my link through the two loops there, okay, so I got it around on the loops, and I'm going to close this up and wrap it again 2 times tightly. That's right, Sue, I was just showing you an alternative design idea. And here's step 2, the way I first did it. And there's no right or wrong way, right guys? And I'm going to close up that little end really tightly, which I didn't do. Okay, and now I'm going to pinch the top here to condense that. We're going to put the bead cap, the little spacer, and my house. And again, this is 20 gauge wire. Oh, pewter with a copper overlay. Did I say something different? Quite possible. And the little branches are from Nunn Designs. We carry them on the website. Nunn Designs is wholesale only, but they're super high quality findings, and so I don't know if I would trust doing that with any other brand, but with the Nunn Designs, I know that their pieces are really high quality and that I can do that little trick with their pieces and that they're not going to break. Okay, now we're back in business. And I'm going to open the big jump ring again. And close it. And I should be using pliers, not my fingers, but that's the way it goes. Okay. So, there we go. Bottom of the necklace done. And now we're going to be building up the sides. So I need 2 9mm jump rings, and then 2 12.5mm jump rings. And I need to do my flowers So I'm just going to do 3 really quick. I'm only going to do one side of the necklace, and then you guys will need to see me demo the other side of the necklace. So I'm going to do these 3 flowers really quick. And again, just using this one-step looper makes it go by so quick and easy. Of course, you can just use your regular round nose pliers and wire cutters if you don't have this, but that's awesome. Just love it. Yes, Dawn, I love the twisted jump rings too. They add such a great texture and just a little bit of something extra special to your designs. I love adding a lot of layers and textures into my jewelry instead of just using basic findings. So I'm always on the lookout for interesting findings, and that's what we carry on the website, are things that I love to use in my own jewelry. Okay. And now I'm going to take the smaller jump ring. This is the 9mm one, and these are brass jump rings, again from Vintage. Oops, I did the wrong flower. You're going to do 1 of each color on each side. So repeating the same flower elements from the bottom. Okay, I'm going to stick this through the ring and then slide on my jump ring, my flowers, and you want it to go on the front of the jump ring, not the back. They may just fly around anyways, but that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to close this up. And I'm going to add on the larger jump ring now. The supply list, Kimberly, if you go to humblebeads.com and click the blog tablet on the top menu, it's the first entry on the blog there, the Autumn Rhapsody necklace, and the supply list is there on my website on the blog area. Okay, so you see I have the 2 jump rings attached, and now we're going to get to the fun part, which is the knotting and the waxed linen. Okay, so I have super duos, which are glass beads with 2 holes on both sides. So there's a hole on each side here. And this is 2-ply waxed linen. You have to have 2-ply waxed linen or this won't work. If you're having trouble getting your waxed linen through the beads, chances are you have 4-ply waxed linen. So this is thinner. What you can do if you're not sure if you have 2-ply or 4-ply is take the bottom and unravel it a little, and if you have 2 strands, then it's 2 strand. If 4 strands, then you know it's 4 strands. Kimberly, or no, Linda, to answer your question real quick, this is a 1.5mm looper. Thanks for asking that. That was a great question. So in your kit you have 60 inches, and you want to cut that in half. Each side of this is going to use 30 inches of waxed linen. So go ahead and cut your waxed linen in half. And set 1/2 aside. Now, my favorite little trick for waxed linen to make it just go a little bit easier is I'm going to take a piece of plastic bag, and I'm just going to pinch while I run the waxed linen through, and this is going to polish the waxed linen so it's not so waxy, and it will make your beads slide on a little easier, and you won't have a bunch of wax at the bottom. Okay, so let's clear this off a little bit. Okay, now I have my 30 inches of 2-ply wax linen. Oh yes, guys, I love Super Duos. They're so much fun to design with. I'm going to fold the wax linen in half. So I fold it in half, and I'm going to slide it through the big link here, the big jump ring, and I'm going to open up the loop on the other side, and pull my 2 strands through. And this is going to be the lark's head knot again. So the same knot you did with the sari silk, you're doing on the bottom here. I mean the top here. And now we're going to separate the 2 strands. And you're just going to string on 6 beads at a time on each side. And you want them to be all on the same hole. So these holes are just going to be floating around in space. Don't worry about them. And I like to mix up the pattern here. I actually don't do any pattern, but I don't like to use the same beads in a row, so I'm just alternating what kind of colors I'm using here. And I love to mix a variety of finishes for the beads. So you'll see there's some transparent, some metallic, mattes, some travertine, so all different, or Picasso, all different finishes. So I have 6 on here. Then I'm going to repeat on the other side. Oh no, my poor cat. Did you hear him? He's very upset that my door is shut. Okay, twist the wax linen in the direction that it's twisting to make the ends a little tighter, to get the beads on a little bit easier. And again, I'm going to repeat this with 6 more. And again, I'm doing this about 12 inches from my face, so not the way I'd usually work, which would be right up in my space. Okay, pull those all the way down. And you're going to push these together. And tie a knot. You know what? I'm wondering. If I did 2 strands. No, I only did 1. Okay, so you're going to tie a knot. And you want to make sure your knot is all the way down at the bottom of your beads here. I left a little too much room. That's okay. So that's your little bead link, and I'm going to repeat with the other one. Actually, let's start on the other side and see. I'm pretty sure that's the way I did it. Because would this be too short? Let me see. We'll try it on both sides. So that's one way to do it. I'm looking at the way this is curved, and I'm thinking yeah, okay. Let me just take this one off. If you started it that way, that's cool. Just keep going. Again, I don't have my sample in front of me. That's my main problem. I'm going by a picture. So forgive me. And again, you can do either way. So I've cut my strand into two 15-inch lengths instead of one 30-inch length. And I'm pretty sure this is the way I did it. I am a professional. Just kidding. Okay, so I have both of the strands. I'm going to pull all 4 of the cords through both of the strands and make that knot again. Thanks for loving me, guys. I appreciate it. I'm just going to answer a few questions real quick. Maria, I don't have a coupon. What I have is a free gift with purchase. So you don't have to leave any code or anything. You will automatically get the free gift with purchase. And I will tell you guys, I'll show a picture of that at the end. But it's a free snowflake charm with every $50 you spend. And then the other question is, someone asked if there's any kits left. You will just have to go to humblebeads.com and see if there's any kits left. I'm not sure. Okay, guys, we're going to have 2 strands. Sorry about that. You can do it either way. And now I'm going to add these little guys to both. And I'm going to do this really quickly because you don't really need to watch me adding the beads. I mean, you're watching me, but I don't need to explain everything. Yeah, this is the way I did it. I'm sorry. Yeah. One day I will do a perfect video and the earth will stand still and you'll all be sorry. Oh. Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to jump over to the website, you can shop while you're watching. That's fine. You're not really missing anything while I add 6 beads to each side here. It's kind of like watching paint dry. People playing with small beads. Oh, thank you guys so much for adding the links and answering questions. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are really, I love you so much. You just make my life so happy. Okay, so we have the 6 beads on that side, and I'm going to repeat this on the other side. And again, remember to twist the little ends. That'll make the beads slide on a little bit quicker. So I'm sticking those through each one. Oh, Maria, you got a kit. Awesome. Oh. Yeah, I love to show you mistakes so that you know that you don't have to be perfect in creating. So I actually do it on purpose just for you. Oh. I always recommend watching the video for a few minutes before you jump right in and start. I should have said that in the beginning. Watch me first and then start the project. In some of the super duos, just based on the finishes and the way they're made, some of them may not have holes in both sides, and so you'll just toss that bead to the side and move on to the next one. I made sure in your kits I included, you know, extras so that if you have 1 or 2 that don't have a hole, you're not going to be stuck with a shorter piece or anything. It's just part of the process for these beads. Okay. There we go. Now I got my two strands. I'm going to put those nice and tightly together and tie a knot. Can somebody tell me what time I'm supposed to be ending? Andrew, if you're watching, can you let me know what time I'm ending? Yes, Andrew, the smaller the bead, the bigger the pressure. Now you're going to separate these again and repeat the process. And I think for the sake of time, I'm not going to do the whole 3 links. You're going to do 3 more of these links. And I'm going to show you how I would end this. So I'm just going to have 1 beaded link on here, but you guys are going to have all 3 of the beaded links going up. And then I'm going to show you how to do the leather. First, Andrew, can you let me know what time I'm supposed to end? And then maybe I'll decide. 1:45. Oh, I have plenty of time. I'll just do the, at least, I'll just do them real quick. You guys don't mind chatting with me, do you? While I go through this. Vicki, this is your first time joining me. Thank you. So I'm primarily a polymer clay bead maker. That's my passion and love, is making beads out of polymer clay. And I do all nature inspired designs. And I do both making my own molds and painting beads, and then I also do a lot of the caning work where you do the little pictures in the clay and then apply the layers to the beads. And I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I can't believe that, but I started making beads when I was in art school and just fell in love with polymer clay right away. I think because of the potential to play with color and the ability to make anything that you could dream up. So if you wanted a bead shape and it wasn't out in the world, you could just pull out your polymer clay and make it. And so I've been happily making beads. Yeah, it's been about, maybe it's been like 28 years or so. And we also make what I call faux tin components, which are metal pieces with my images on them. I'm an illustrator too. And those we do more sporadically just because they're very time intensive. And what we'll do a lot of times are made to orders for those pieces. Move that out of the way. So going along, the cord, the wax linen cord, is that what you're talking about? So wax linen cord, it's a linen cord that's been coated in wax, and it's wonderful for knotting, and it comes in different plies, which is how many of the cords they've used to make the wax linen. So this is 2-ply wax linen, and so it has 2 strands that are twisted together to make the cord. And what happens is when you do the knots on them, the knots are almost like they're glued together with the wax. They really stick together well, and so it's just one of my favorite cords to work with. You could use other beading cords if you wanted to, but I don't have a lot of experience with them, so I couldn't offer you advice with other cords, but definitely with the wax linen, it's just one of my favorite materials to work with for knotting projects. And then if you didn't see the very beginning of the video, watch again and see how I use the paper bag to polish the wax linen before I get started. Oh, I was supposed to tie those together. Okay, tying all of the 4 strands together. Oh, Hale, do I have any tips for unknotting? It's almost impossible, honestly. Buy more cord than you think you're going to need. That's That's my tip. I don't think it's a really good tip. I think the best thing to do is, if you see a knot happening, before you, if you can see it, like a knot forming, stop really quickly and untie it. Don't pull on it and make it tighter while you're knotting. That's the best advice I can offer. Chances are, though, if you got a good knot in there, you're just going to have to use it as a design element and go on. Just make it work, right? There's, it's very unforgiving. That is one of the only downfalls of it, is that once there's a knot in it, you're kind of stuck with that knot. So you'll have happy accidents. And you can just tell everyone, I said it was okay. And anyways, most people wouldn't notice if you had an extra little knot somewhere. Oh, okay. Michelle says the knotting tool has a thin part that helps you untie the knot. Maybe I'll have to check out the knotting tool and see if that see how that works. So, thank you, Michelle. That's a really good tip. I didn't realize that there was a on the tool there was a thing that helped you untie knots. Awesome. Yeah, we always include little gifts in your orders, guys. Everyone gets a free sample of sari silk, and then depending on what kind of specials we run for the week, we're always giving away free stuff. We don't do discounts because we're a small business, family run, and it's just not what we can do with our small volume that we do here. But we always are as generous as we can be with free gifts and taking care of you guys that way. We like to add value to your order that way. So thank you. I'm glad you guys like that. Yes, the knots are super sturdy. That is one of the things, you know, that if you've ever tried to unknot a piece of wax linen, you can rest assured that all your knots are nice and secure. Right? Okay. I'm almost done here. Just a few more little guys to go. Yes, and the Irish wax linen is very reasonably priced. And not all wax linen is the same, you guys. There's different types of wax linen, you know, made in different countries and different places. And the Irish wax linen is the higher quality of the wax linen. So if you're buying wax linen, make sure it says Irish wax linen. That's really important. You will be much happier with the results. All right. So make sure you push all the beads down on both sides, put them together, and tie them all in a knot. Make sure you slide that knot all the way down so that it's touching the beads. And there you go. We are done with the beading part. And so now I'm going to take one of the 9mm jump rings and close it up really nice and tightly. And I like using these jump rings with the wax linen. They're really super thick and heavy, and they're not going to come undone. So I'm going to split the two cords in half, so half on one side and half on the other, and I'm going to string them overlapping. So two are going to the left and two are going to the right. And I'm going to pull this down to the bottom. And I'm going to pull both of the cords underneath. They're going to be tied underneath the jump ring. And I'm just doing a regular knot here. Nothing fancy, just tying them both together, pulling them nice and tight, and now I'm going to make sure this is going underneath again, and I'm going to tie another knot in the front here, or maybe it's the back, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to tie another knot. Now, I don't have my scissors, so I'm just going to use my pliers, which aren't going to give me a very good cut. So I'm going to cut them a little bit bigger than I normally would, so that I can cut them nicely at home. So I can give them a little trim. I mean, not at home, at the retreat center when I get my scissors back. Okay, and then so I'll do them like about that short is how short I'll cut them, and then I like to untwist them so you have some little fringe there. So that's the look we're going to do for that. Now we're going to take the 1.5 millimeter leather is what I have here, and yes, the wax linen, it is used in bookbinding and upholstery. Okay, so this is 24 inches of leather is what I have here. And what I'm going to do, I have these little crimp covers from Vintage. Well, they're just beads, spacer beads. They're called crimp covers, I think, on the website. But they open up, and so I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and stick it in here, and then I have my thumb here, and I'm opening up my pliers. You want to hold on to this little guy so he doesn't go flying anywhere, and you just want to do this a few times until he opens up. He or she, I don't know why it's a he. And it goes slow. It's a slow going thing. You're gonna have to do it quite a few times to get it opened up all the way. Well, not opened up all the way, but you want to get it a good opening so that you can stick it over the cord. Okay, so I'm going to say that's good. Ignore my painted up fingernails. Not painted the good way. Actual paint. Okay. Now I'm going to stick the cord over the jump ring like this. And this, it doesn't matter if it's front or back here, so I'm going to see which direction things are going. Okay, so the little end is going to be in the back, and then also the seam of this, you want to have it in the back. So I'm going to stick this over the two cords. You guys see how I did that? So it's stuck over the two cords. Those two cords are in there nice and snug. And now I'm just going to pinch it closed and press down to close this nice and tightly. You don't want to feel it scratching anything, so make sure it's pressed down nice and flat. Okay, And now I'm going to trim this up just a little bit more. And I have these cute little melon beads that are a large hole, and these are 8mm. And I'm going to stick this over the leather to cover it up. And then when you do the other side, you'll put the bead on first, and then loop it around and close it up, and the little bead will just be hanging out, and then you'll stick it out. Okay, so that is the half of the finished necklace, and I'll show the picture again. But if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. And so very easy to do, especially when you watch the video and see me make my mistakes and learn from them. So in the beginning, I did the little loop without putting it through here, and that's no problem. You could just use a little jump ring to attach, and then you really cut the cord into two 15-inch lengths and use 2 cords to do the knotting for the Super Duo beads. So that's it. I'm almost ready to go. I want to show you guys real quick. These are the snowflake charms that you are going to get for free with your order of $50 or more. And so for every $50 that you spend, you will be getting a free charm, unlimited. So if you spend $100, you get 2 charms. $150, you get 3 charms, on and on. So for every $50, you will get a charm, and I'll do pairs for your first 2, so you could make earrings if you wanted to, and then if you order more, you'll be getting other colors. And then also, if you haven't been over to the website, we have our first Christmas designs of the season. So these are some of the new Christmas pieces that we have. I am kind of a Christmas nut. I love Christmas very, very much. I love the whole season, and I don't celebrate or get crazy until Thanksgiving, so I kind of sneak in my Christmas joy into my beads, and it's okay to do that before Thanksgiving in my house until until Thanksgiving. So that's it for my presentation, you guys. If you haven't joined my Humblebeads VIP party group, search that online and join my Humblebeads VIP party group. You can share your Humblebeads creations in there, and you know, I always give little extra tips and inspiration to that group, and it's a really super friendly group, and they love sharing their designs. And then every week we have Bead Table Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and I'd love to have you guys join me for that. I do a free project every week. And then on Fridays, I do my coffee break at 3 p.m., and that's where I show you what's new in the Humblebeads world and what new products we have. And of course, my website is humblebeads.com, and the supply list for today is on the blog, and that will also be where we will have the replay of this video if you're looking for it off of Facebook, and it will be on the Humblebeads Facebook page indefinitely, so you can come back and watch anytime. Vicki, I am in the Eastern Standard Time zone, so Eastern Standard Time for the Bead Table Wednesdays at 1 and my 3 p.m. show, my 3 p.m. video. The wax linen, Yvonne, thanks for asking. You can find it at humblebeads.com, and it's 2-ply wax linen that we used for this project. So on my website at humblebeads.com, you'll see it'll say 2-ply right on the picture so that you don't get the wrong one. All right, guys, I'm going to go back to my retreat and have fun with my people, and thank you for joining, and enjoy watching the rest of the presentations for the day. We have a great lineup today, and I want to thank you guys so much for joining me, and thank you to the Great Bead Extravaganza and my whole team over there for putting together this awesome event. Thank you guys so much. You have a wonderful weekend, the rest of it, Sunday. Stay warm and cozy, have fun creating, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Join me for my free project that I'll have on Wednesday. All right, guys. Bye.